my brand that I've tried to tell all my employees and how we work is give out value, give out value, give value for free, help people with whatever people need help with.
I think the biggest miss that people make in terms of selling,
it's about how does somebody do something big in a very short period of
time. Jacob, I do want to transition, and because I want to kind of drill into Facebook. We have a lot of people here who are wondering what's going on with Facebook right now. For those of you who don't know, Jacob Malherbe is the founder of X Social Media, manages a ton in ad spend on Facebook ads. So I just kind of want to drill into this. There's a lot of changes happening right now. iPhone updates, the Pixel, retargeting, kind of fading away. There's a battle, with Apple and Google against Facebook. At least it seems, with Google Chrome, not making it not as easy to retarget. And I'm curious to hear your thoughts. First of all, is like, what's working right now on Facebook to get qualified leads, not just random inquiries that don't actually end up getting on the phone, qualified leads. And then I want to transition to how can we be ahead of the ball here as some of these changes occur, so that we're not kind of scrambling around if we want to get leads from Facebook?
Yeah, so Facebook still works the same as it's always worked up till today. Today is the day of 14.5 update. So we have been working on it since last year in March, setting everything up. So when we're talking about setting everything up, right now, the change that is happening means that you cannot fire a browser-side pixel. So in layman language, that means when somebody comes to your website, they can opt out on their phone, so your pixel won't target them in the future, meaning you won't drop their pixel, so you don't know who it was that came to your website. That is what this 14.5 update is about. So the fix to the 14.5 update is, instead of firing the pixel browser side when somebody comes to your website, you wait until they fill out a form, and then you send the information via API into Facebook.
Can you say that one more time?
Absolutely. So instead of putting your pixel on your website, that's going to be blocked with the 14.5 if people opt out of tracking. Now, that's a whole nother conversation I'd like to get into, why people don't want to opt out. But if they do opt out, you cannot track people around the web anymore when they're on a cell phone. And remember, 86% of all leads that gets filled out today comes from a cell phone. So if everybody opts out of being tracked, you cannot fire the pixel browser side. You can only upload, so to speak, via API, the data of the lead you got from that person back into Facebook. That is 14.5 update.
So first party data becomes of more importance, right? And people need to start understanding, and this is a big problem I notice with lawyers, I'm sure you do as well, is everyone goes right for the throat, like, get a consultation. And that doesn't work on Facebook. You can't just go, surprise, I'm a lawyer, come to me for a consultation, enter your information. So what you're saying is lawyers need to start learning about, having foot in the door opt-ins, like download my free ebook or register for this free web training I'm holding, so that it's a lower barrier of commitment, so that they can capture more emails. And then as a result, they can upload those emails or automate that process to where the emails, first name, last name emails, uploaded into the Facebook ads account, and then you target them that way?
Or why not just data mine what you already are sitting on? Most law firms are sitting on a ton of data that they're like, well, it's in my CRM, that's a prior client and all this stuff. But that's what they need to leverage, is the prior clients, because the prior clients will refer you to your new client. So then again, it's all about brand, like where Lee started, right? So if I take my brand that I've tried to tell all my employees and how we work is give out value, give out value, give value for free, help people with whatever people need help with. I don't care if you're a competitor, if you're a client or what you help people. The universe is luckily made in such a way that if you help people, it comes back to you and you don't even have to ask for it. That's how the universes work. So my business model is this. I just help people and I keep helping people and that comes back to me, right? And my company. So in the attorney's world, put out information that people are like, oh my God, I didn't know I could do something about that. But this guy just told me, let me go listen to that. Let me give you a perfect example. Trampoline parks, you see them come up all over the place, right? The franchise trampoline parks. They sign a release when they go in, mom, and then the little kid breaks their leg in the trampoline car and go like, oh, but I signed the release, right? I can't do nothing. Well, you can do something. And if you're that lawyer that informed the mom that there is something that can be done, hey, they just found you and they go like, this guy, this woman really provided me some value. They told me something I didn't know. That's what it's all about in branding, in my mind. It's about providing value, not expecting something back. Universe, God will take care of you. It's how it is.
Yeah, I completely agree with that model. That's why the show exists.
Exactly.
So how can someone data mine? Because I really like where you're going there. Are you saying go through past client data and perhaps create lookalike audiences?
Yes. So both lookalike audiences, but also custom audience. So example, you are a divorce practice, as Lee mentioned earlier, right? So now you have the male clients and you have the female clients. Well, that's obviously two different messages. So that would be two different audiences you create with your database, right? So now you go to the female clients and you go like, hey, we enjoyed helping you. Well, maybe not enjoyed helping you, but the experience of working on your divorce case, we hope your experience was as good as ours. If you know somebody in your inner circle that need help, we are here to help. Free consultation, whatever, right? A different message to male, female. Now you have two different audiences that you can market to. I think, and maybe people on the call could speak to this, I think a lot of business comes by referral. I don't think you need to go to what I call cold traffic and go with a new offer. Start with the warm traffic. Start with the people that know you already, know the value you provide, and go to them and ask them for a referral. That is a much cheaper way to go about business than going to people that don't know you. And most law firms are sitting on this data today.
So in terms of, proactively pivoting for perhaps if this happens on Google Chrome as well, let's talk about like going into cold audiences. So this is something, for those who don't understand, there's warm audiences, cold audiences on Facebook ads. A cold audience would be like sets of interest buckets, right? And I'm curious, what are some ways that if people see a reduction in traffic through what would have otherwise been the pixel, if a lot of people opt out of, browser side pixel tracking on a mobile device, what are some other ways that they can compensate for a reduction in traffic because of that?
Yeah. So everybody needs to know that Facebook is smarter than anybody else around, right? They know everything about us, right? More than your wife, more than your husband. They just know who we are from all the data they've been tracking for the last almost 20 years, right? So sometimes, a lot of times, we don't put an audience. We put a demographic of man, woman, this age, maybe a geographic if you do local campaigns, but then we let Facebook show the ads at $25 per 1,000 ads shown. And then we let Facebook figure out who has the interest, who is engaging. And once Facebook figures that out with AI, then they will find more clients for you with those same interests to what you are advertising. Just so everybody, when they hear the word AI, yeah, that word is thrown around and we all hear it all the time. But let me try to simplify AI for the audience just for a second. You have a dice, right, with 6 different outcomes. Now you roll the dice 10 times, and 5 of the times the 1 comes up. AI will try for the 1 to come up 50% of the time in the future. So the more you show Facebook what you want coming through your lead form, the more you're going to get that same result in the future. So now you can start tricking Facebook by saying, hey, I'm gonna ask 3 questions on my landing page, and then I'm gonna score people or qualify people, and only throw the pixel on the people that qualify, and thereby expecting the AI to give me more qualified people. Was that too high, or was that?
No. So yeah, this makes sense. And that was actually the next point I wanted to kind of dive into is, so the first takeaway there is Facebook knows everything, and, nothing isn't worth a test on $25, right? It's 25 daily budget or whatever you set.
Yeah.
I think the challenge, you and I are expert marketers, so we know that a test requires many optimizations. And, my fear is that if we say $25, a day, or a small budget on $25, that some of the people listening are going to think I can get rich on $25 a day. No. It's a long game, right? And it's constant optimizations and looking at what works. And that's why you hire, expert companies to do this stuff. The question I have in terms of qualifying, the biggest objection that I hear on Facebook ads is that the leads aren't qualified, or the leads aren't serious, right? The leads are coming in, but they're not returning phone calls. And I'm curious, what is the solution to that? Do you want to put people right into a Calendly link where they would book a consult? Do you want to put them through a multi-step, question asking funnel with very simple questions on a couple of pages? How can you vet the leads out so you're not wasting your time chasing people who aren't going to follow up with you in the first place?
So how we do it at Xsocial is we ask qualifying questions, right? Let's say it's a personal injury, right? So were you in a car accident in the last 2 years? Yes, no, right? If it wasn't 2 years, within the last 2 years, we're not really interested, right? Did you have any of the following injuries? They tell us what injuries they have. Are you interested in talking to a lawyer? Yes, no. So those 3 questions, you can qualify or disqualify people based on those 3 questions. And you can do that in any industry or any part of the law. You can come up with some qualifying and disqualifying questions. If it does qualify, you move them on to the next page where they fill out their contact information. Let me warn the people on this call. Facebook has something called lead ads, where information pops in or auto-populate into the form. If you want to use that, remember that Facebook has been around for about 20 years, and a lot of the information that pre-populates that Facebook have, like your phone, like the phone number, somebody changes phone number like the rest of us changes underwear, right? So it might not be the same phone number anymore, right? So if you want to do lead ads, put a question to confirm the phone number. Please put in your phone number again to confirm. those kind of things. But I would really not use lead ads at all. But if you have to, do it that way. So qualified is, remember, people are in different situations. Some people like to chat. Somebody like, to do it themselves online. Some people like to talk to a human. Everybody is different in this day and age, right? People don't like to go into an office because of COVID right now. People like maybe a phone call because we haven't talked to people in a long time. So everybody is different. So try and cater to having multiple ways of communication with your clients, and try and go to the one that they like. Maybe it's texting instead of phone call. If somebody don't pick up the phone, text them and go like, hey, I was just wanting to talk to you about the lead you filled out. You can call me back at this number at a time that fits you. Maybe people are dodging the bill collector. It could be many different things, right? Maybe there's a baby screaming in the background. So try and communicate with people in the way that they like to communicate. Most of the time, people just want somebody to listen. Most of the time. We just want you to listen to the most important thing that is going on in my life right now. I just want you to listen to me. And people forget that because they have this intake script that they feel like they have to go through fast so they can talk to the next person. But that's a bad way to do it, right? You gotta take the time and make this client the most important thing in your life right now, because they're going through something.